Welcome to the 2023 Broken Men Foundation Youth Academy. At this time, I'm asking all gentlemen to remove your hats in the building. And the reason being, because we are showing something different here, and I cannot ask the young men to do things that we don't do. We are their prime examples. It starts with us first. So I'm asking all men to remove their hats, please. Give me your headscarf. You got a headscarf? Take it off. Thank you.
Also, you see a lady walk in, can you see something? I appreciate you.
All right, first and foremost, again, we say thank you and welcome. At this particular time, we are excited about the new endeavors, okay? We are excited about the new endeavors that we are embarking on. We have been blessed. We're actually growing, and we're going to continue to grow. I need to say something before I actually get into this information. And let me stop. I'm sorry, Dante. Pastor, I'm sorry. President.
Let us pray. God, our Creator and our love, we thank you today for this time of celebration, this time of expansion, this time of recollection, but most of all, this time of community. We pray now, God, that you will bless this foundation like never before. And as the journey continues, God, I understand we continue in love, but as we build futures that are prosperous, futures that are loving and caring, but most of all, futures that we would like to model after. We pray now in the name above all names. Amen. Amen.
Yes. All right, I need to say this real fast, and I need to make sure that we understand this, the reason why y'all are here. Our young folks are dying at an alarming rate. Somebody asked me today, they said they're tired of us dying. But I need everybody to understand this. It's a life skill. It's a lifestyle. Dare to be different. We need you to live for another day. You are our future. We need you. Whatever that looks like. We need you to get home. At any cost, get home. The heartache of a parent to lose a child. You will never understand it if you're gone. But you leave that mother behind from a decision that you might have made. Because some decisions that you make, you're not going to be able to bounce back from or come back from. Well, if it's life in the penitentiary or going to the grave early. I want y'all to understand something. All of us are going to die. But some of the decisions that you make will take you here a little bit earlier from the decisions that you make. It's time to be accountable for your actions. They say it's peer pressure. Here at the foundation, we dare you to put pressure on your peers. Put pressure on your peers, meaning this. If you know your brother or your cousin or friend is about to do something wrong, you step in. You step in. You know right from wrong. Put pressure on your peers. If you go into a room, look different. Be willing to take your hood off. Be willing to take your hat off. Be willing to pull your pants up. And then for the young men, I'm going to speak it plain. When you take your hat off, you say, well, I didn't comb my hair. I didn't brush. That's on you. That was up to you when you decided to come out the house. But one thing that I do understand is that we're all different. And that's okay. But there's a time and a place for everything. And it starts now. It starts now. So for the next 20 weeks, get ready. Get ready for the fun. Get ready for the laughter. Maybe even some shedding some tears. Because we're going to deal with some layers. And understand, I understand that everyone here is not in trouble. or have been in trouble. So let's correct that right now. Some of you are teetering with things. You are looking for answers to be that young man. What does life look like? We're here to try to guide you the best way we know how at the foundation. If you're willing to open your heart and let us in, we're going to come with love. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Hey, whoa. How you doing? Miss McKeeshan is now here. What I wanted to do before I started, and I'm going to turn it over, I got a couple of guest speakers, and they'll be very brief, and then we're going to get up to the digs and go over the curriculum. Can I get everyone to stand, please? Everyone stand. Off the phone, off the phone, off the phone, please. Thank you. Y'all rules that will be in place. At this particular moment, we'd like to honor you, Mr. Teacher. We'd like to just say that you know what you've been. So you honor. You don't know. You can only imagine what that looks like. Your husband was a trailblazer. Okay? You fought, and a lot of things are still going to happen because of his grace. So at this particular time, we want to give you a round of applause. But because of what you're going through, you still took out your time to still show up. That takes courage. That takes love. That takes dedication. So with all that being said, we'd like to say thank you. Could y'all give our hand? At this time, I'm going to bring up Mr. Kim Green's. You all that don't know, this gentleman right here, Mr. Kim Greenwich, is the general manager, vice president of,
Great talk.
It's Great Talk. NBC 12.
Everybody's favorite station.
He has a few words of encouragement that he would like to speak at this particular time.
Thank you. You know, I got to tell you that it's nothing more beautiful than to come out on a Wednesday night when it's raining, and you come to an event and you wonder if people are going to show up, and you all showed up. There's a whole lot of places you could have been tonight, but you chose to be here. And especially the men in the room. So I'm going to tell a brief story, because I could talk all night long. Because I like telling true stories. I don't need to make them up. So I'm going to tell you briefly about a boy named Kim. When he was 3 years old, he remembers the violence in his home because his father was suffering with mental illness. This boy named Kim had a brother named Ron, 13 months older than him. And he doesn't remember that violence because he was 13 months older than his brother. The trauma was so big that when I talked to my brother, may he rest in peace, he does not remember the trauma. But I remember my father having the fights with the police officers. I remember the violence against my mother. I remember all those things. I didn't know at 3 years old that a man suffering with mental illness, a paranoid schizophrenic. For those of you that don't know what a paranoid schizophrenic is, that's a very dangerous man or woman when they're not taking their medication. It probably took me until I was 35 years old if somebody asked me about my father that I would have ever said he suffered with mental illness. Why? Because many times, because we don't want to tell the truth about things, we tell a lie for our entire life, don't we? I used to say my father was an electrician, which he was. I used to say my father was gainfully employed as an electrician because I was ashamed to tell people that at the moment they were asking me about him, he was in a mental institution. Have you ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or A Beautiful Mind? That was my father. I've been in every kind of mental institution you can think of since I was 10 years old. But here's the grace in all of it. I loved my father my entire life. My parents have been divorced since I was 3 years old. But anyone who asked me, was your father in my life? I could say yes. And that was because of my mother. My mother to this day has never said a negative word about my father in her entire life. Grace told her that this boy needed to have a relationship with his father. So every Father's Day, every birthday, she gave me money to go see my father. My extended family said, you go see your father every weekend, which I did. Sometimes he was in his right mind, other times he wasn't. When he was, it was a beautiful thing. He taught me to play chess. He taught me the difference between an A and a B. An A and a B in school, the only difference is you're choosing to have that A and not dumbing it down to have that B. Because all of us have that capacity to do that. All of us. I grew up in the Albany Projects in Brooklyn. When I grew up there in 1957, when I came in, you had to be married to move into the projects. You had to be married to move into the project. It was a beautiful place to be. But when my father left, and not because he couldn't help it, the men in the community, the women in the community made sure that we had mentors. My aunts and uncles made sure that my brother and I had mentors. And so the man that you see in front of you today is a man who had a father in his life until he was 77 years old when he passed away. He dealt with mental illness his entire life. But what my father gave me that you can always give and ask for my entire life is he gave me his time. I didn't need his money. He gave me his time and his love. He said, you can come see me. And I went to see him. And many times we would sit in the room together for 2 hours and never say a word to each other. But I always had my father's time and his love. So here's the only thing I'm giving to you today. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in your life, you can make a decision right now, today, to say that everything I do from this point forward is going to be about being my best self. My best self. That means exploiting all your gifts and talents. I know a lot of the young people today, when I say, where are your gifts and talents? You don't know where they are. You have them. And at another time, I'll come back and talk to you about how to discover those gifts and talents. Because usually it's the person sitting right next to you, if you just say to them, what am I good at? And they say, man, you've always been good at this. That's what it is. That's only one of them. So thank you so much for having me here today, and thank you for honoring this organization that has taken the time to say that they love this community. NBC 12 is going to make sure that we play a role in loving this community. That's what we're about. As long as I'm the general manager at that station, and as long as I'm black, we're going to make sure that we give love back to this community. Even when I'm not working, Ellery said, you know, Makia was over here the other day. I don't even know. You know why? Because I don't have to direct their steps. Because through leadership, they know that they need to be part of this community because you guys give so much back to us. So thank you so much for your time and this is the teaching. I want to also say, you've heard this a million times, but it wasn't until I was at that funeral that I truly understood what Donald meant to the community. But we all know that a man cannot be great without what? A great woman. Thank you.
So I see lots of people here who may not know me, may not have known Donald. So let me give you a 30-second word, especially for the young people here, and then I'm going to follow what Kim just said. Runs NBC 12. So if you get channel 12 on your TV, he's running that entire operation, just so you understand who he is. My husband was Congressman Donald Peachin, and he died very suddenly of the effects of colorectal cancer. He was cured of the cancer. It was the secondary effects of radiation and surgery and all that kind of thing that ended up in his death just after Thanksgiving. I'm your Commonwealth's attorney. Your parents and relatives, and maybe you all, if you're 18, elected me to be the attorney to prosecute crimes and be the voice for victims of crimes in the city of Richmond. So it's not just ever about putting people in jail. It's about seeing people where they are and trying to provide them with connections and resources so that they either don't go to jail, or they're not convicted, or they get a lesser sentence, or they have anger management, or they're diverted to a drug program or a mental health program, like Ken just spoke about. But here's what I want to tell you all. As valuable as fathers are in our lives, and Ken just focused on that, we don't need the money, we need the time and the love. What I see here, in addition to a lot of fathers, is a lot of mothers, and a lot of grandmothers, and a lot of aunts, and sisters. So, what I want to ask all of the men and young men in this room to do is to remember that you all came from a woman. And when you disrespect a woman, when you talk about this bee and this hoe and what you're going to do and what you're going to have her do and how she looks and what you're going to make her do and give you, you are disrespecting your mother. Because that woman, that girl that you're talking about is going to be somebody's mother. And you came from a mother. So just think about that. I would just ask you all to think about that. And I know that this mentorship program and all of these men and all of these leaders who are here are going to help you not only represent your race, represent your manhood, but also represent the historical respect that our people have always given the queens in our community. Thank you.
This time we call up the president of the NAACP, Mr. J.J. Mountain.
Good evening to everyone, and I hope that all is well, and thank you for coming out tonight. First of all, let's give the Broken Men Foundation a hand, all of the mentors. I'm going to be very brief and just say that you all are beautiful people. You're able, you're capable, you're valuable. You are the best of what this Richmond region has to offer. And we expect the best. There are lots of things that's going on in our communities. Crime, hatred towards one another. People, we have to learn to start loving each other a lot more. We got to start learning each other a lot more. This program, I'm in love with this program because it is actually a hands-on program that's helping young men or boys become men. A lot of fathers are not in the home, and there are some mothers that's not in the home. But together, we build the village. It's about the village, about helping to assist the efforts of bringing the best out of you. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? Are you sure? All right. I just want to make sure that you believe in you, because I believe in you, and I love you, and we all love you. Again, this is a hands-on grassroots organization. I thank God for you. Again, you are able, you are capable, you are valuable. Now I need you to turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
Say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
I will live.
I will live.
And I shall not die.
And I shall not die.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Dr. Shaman Mohammed. Dr. Shaman Mohammed. All right, I'll bring up next Mr. Sean Miller, Executive Director. If I make sure I send it right, Boys, Girls, the title change. I know you got a big title and stuff. I know you
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Real short. Number one lesson that y'all should learn. I'm doing with this guy here. Head salt, hands up. The other thing is, try to be the first person to speak. Have them follow Kim, Mr. Keaton, and JJ. Right? My name is Sean Miller. I'm the interim president and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs in Metro Richmond. We see kids after school each and every day, Monday through Friday, weekends, etc. I'm excited to be here, and the biggest thing that's important for me is that I walk in, I see Mr. Clark. Went to school with Mr. Clark, so y'all might not guess it, he older than me. About 3 years. I see Anthony Roan in the back. These guys were important to me because they were seniors when I was a freshman in high school. Now, they were some wild guys in high school, so they are really refined, gentlemen, and family men now. They were wild guys, but there's also a lesson that you get sometimes, right? Sometimes you're around people, you learn what not to do, all right? But there's also some people that you're around and you learn what to do, you take advantage of, you soak it up, and you bring it in. Mr. Greenwich, everything on Channel 12, that's that man. The people in this room, media, mass media, school system, mental health, not-for-profit, government, all the way down the line. You want to make sure that you surround yourself and you got a good circle around you. Right now, you all need our back. You can't just have one mentor, you got 5. Mr. Fobbs, hey look, I grew up under all of these guys. Y'all have some wonderful men that are leading this organization, leading this program. Mr. Ellery here, we grew up at Broad Rock, Francis, right around the street. This man had the sweetest face mask that I ever seen. He had the sweetest face mask. Like everybody else had the bad face mask, he had the sweetest face mask. He was the best quarterback that I've seen. What number 2? Broad Rock Bandit. This guy right here. All right? He never knew that I looked up to him as a little dude. He never knew that. I'm glad that I'm in a position that at some point I'll be able to grow up and be like you, man. Steve, Rome, y'all are inspirations, man. And the thing about it is, everybody in this room, everybody needs somebody. Right? Everybody needs somebody. We can be influenced and encouraged by somebody younger, older, black, white, green, rich, poor. It does not matter. Let's just make sure our circle is tight. I'm excited that we're going to be able to partner with this organization moving forward. I'm excited to try to be a part of it. I got a lot going on. I'm excited to try to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, we have an opportunity that it starts here. It starts in Southside. It starts right here. What days are we? Every Thursday. There's going to be a lot of love that comes out of Southside on Main Ridge every Thursday for the next 20 weeks. All right.
Y'all give him a round of applause. I call him that. I'm going to say this because one of our biggest struggles at the organization is trying to move so many young men. The biggest thing we was trying to captain them, but we can't captain. There's like 70 young men. Everybody's not even here tonight. So we've been invited to come to UNC. We've been invited to come to BMI, Virginia Tech, BCU, University of Richmond, what's the one? UVA, those places. When I spoke to this gentleman the other day, that was one of our tests because every time that we go somewhere, it costs us like $3,000. Okay, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to transport because we have to get buses. Okay,
So I'm only charging $29.99.
Yeah. So when I called him, I said, "Would you all be able to partner with us and provide transportation so that we could go these places?" He didn't hesitate. He did not hesitate. He said, "The only thing I need is to make sure that we have the proper information so that everybody's covered when we're moving." That's the only thing he said. He said, "That's no problem at all." And then he said, "Can we come to the east?" And I said, "Well, we'll be making our way shortly over there." But that's the type of man this is. And with him, with community partners, that's what it looks like. Thank you. Steve, come and stand next to me, please. I got Steve. Yeah. I saw. Next, bring up Mr. Mosley. Michelle Mosley. I didn't see her. Oh, man, I got her. Come on up. Got two. Hey.
Good evening, everybody.
I didn't see her.
I just want to quickly say that last year, if y'all remember, who was here last year? Okay. Y'all remember last year it was raining? Okay. So I was thinking today as I was preparing to come, we had a staff meeting all day today, and I was thinking about last year, and I was like, God, it's raining again. We haven't, and usually it's packed, and it's raining. And I was like, what is that about? It is raining on Broken Men Day. And he said, seeds are being watered.
Come on, somebody.
I was like, what? He said, the seeds are being watered. He said, and they're being watered now. He said, he's putting seeds in the ground. Y'all are putting seeds in the ground. The parents are putting seeds in the ground. People are showing up in the rain. He said, and I'm doing my part. One plant, one water. God is going to bring some increase.
Yeah. All right.
I got so excited at the moment, like, whoa, God, you are that dude, for real. I'm excited about the Broken Men. We've been partnering forever. We work with the parents. We actually have, on February 16th, we're doing a cook-off with parents and some of and the children, young people. So if y'all want to be involved in that, see y'all already signed up? Did y'all sign up? We want you to sign up to be a part of, we partner with Bond Supporters and the Richmond Police Department to do a cook-off. And we do bingo each month, and we just have some conversation with parents, and the youth come, and they win all the prizes. The kids seem to have a thing about bingo and win. But it's a good moment where we get to ask and talk and chat and ask questions about bullying, and how do you as a parent respond if your child is being bullied or if your child is the bully. Because you gotta have some real conversations so that we can get to the nitty-gritty of things and get to some answers. In 2019, I lost my godson, Jacob. Jacob was murdered on the south side of Richmond. And Jacob was the most loving guy I know. Jacob loved his entire family. Jacob had a tattoo of everybody's name written on Jacob that showed his way of loving. He got ready to put a tattoo of his godmom. I said, Jacob, don't do it. You're not gonna be able to find no job, Jacob, with all the tattoos. You ain't gotta put one on there. So he found a song that was for me and Jacob. My godson left this earth because I believe he had a hard time walking away, children. And I need y'all to know that sometimes you gotta walk away. Sometimes you gotta know that somebody's bigger than you, that somebody's better than you, and you gotta walk away. Our family got a hold in it that never goes away because my godson did not know how to walk away. I'm asking you all, you young people, to when it get rough, walk away. Go home to your mom. Go home to your dad. Walk away. Nothing is worth you being the best and you being the baddest. Nothing is worth that and somebody putting a bullet in your head. I had to get down, go on Jank Road, and I had to see Jacob with a bullet in his eye, laid out on the ground. Nothing is worth your parents having to do that. So whatever you can get out of this, get it. Soak it in. Do what you gotta do to live the next day and to be great at what God has put you here for. Do you hear me? Do not let your mom and your dad look like this because you couldn't walk away. Y'all mean so much to all of us. We wouldn't be here if you didn't. I sat over there and I pondered on whether this should happen, that this moment should happen. But I need you to know that when we're watching it on the TV, it's enough. Walk away. I want everybody to be able to raise their hand next year and say, I'm here again. I'm back again. I'm ready to soak up some more. So if you find yourself in a space, what we gonna do?
Walk away.
What we gonna do?
Walk away.
One more time.
Walk away.
Miss McKeachin, you know you my homie girl. I love Miss McKeachin, and I just want to say to you, me and you got our own thing. Me and Miss McKeachin do the picture tag. I done messed us up in the night. But her husband was a legend in his own right. When I first got into politics in 2012, I did a piece of legislation called Ban the Box. Anybody know what that means? What does it mean? You take their ad, have you ever been convicted of their application? So, yes. 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 Absolutely. Ban the box, if you could not hear her, simply means that where it says, have you ever been convicted on the application, they would remove it. So it gives you an opportunity to at least go in and talk about your offense. Because many times what we know is, if there's an application, it can get tossed to the side based on the fact that they know you've been convicted. So I went in and I had a conversation with Donald Keisha, and he was all in. He watched me over to the General Assembly. I had to get my hair did. And I was going to the General Assembly. I just want to say that he was absolutely the gentle gentleman that he was. And you are equally next. You are. You rock. You are everywhere. No, she is. She's everywhere that I am. I see her there. And that's a person that cares. And so I am glad that you are my common attorney. And I appreciate you, and not because I think that you're in it to do this. I think you're in it to do this. And so I appreciate you being who you are. Thank y'all so much. And thank you.
This guy right here, I'm a little speaker. I definitely felt that when she said that. I lost my nephew as well in 2019. That's going to be a story that I share with you young men, because when I lost my nephew, I did not understand it, and I did not want to continue on. This guy right here, Mr. Steve Clark, come here for a second. This man right here, I called him and we talked. And I said, man, I can't even do this anymore. I said, how do I do this and just feel like I failed my nephew and I failed my family? He was a young man, 20 years old at that particular time. His father was sitting right there and my mother was right there, okay? And at that particular time, he looked at me and told me, he said, man, we just got to pull our bootstraps. I know you're hurting and the things are going on, but we want to get back into this. We're going to take what happened then and turn it into a purpose, okay? So when I tell you all, when we sit here and talk to you all, we're not just sharing stories with you, just to say things to you. Because it hurts deep and it runs deep, all right? So understand that we have truth behind what we're saying. Ms. Turner? She doesn't want, is that Ms. Gordon?
I ain't playing.
Is that Letitia? All right, Letitia, come on here. She doesn't want to say anything. I'm surprised about that because she, oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to give her a couple of minutes, but I'm going to tell y'all something. We were able to continue this program to have our first summer program last year, and hopefully that might happen again this year. We have to apply, okay? We're doing something, keep your fingers across, but we was able to receive a grant from Next Up. They got behind us and they saw something in us, because that's the only way these things can run. That's why a lot of times when you all come in, we see a lot of things are just free, because we're finally getting the push behind us to make these things happen. So we want to say thank you. Thank you for all you do for Next Up, RBA, and all the good stuff. We appreciate you. You got a couple of words?
Yes. Well, I wanted to say thank you to your left too, because that's of our board members.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to say good evening to everyone. My name is Janine Turner. I'm embarrassed to say this, but one of my former students is in this room, and I taught so many years ago. I'm not gonna call her out. But I've been involved in education since I was 21 years old. I was probably a teacher when I was 21 years old. And over the years, I've served as a teacher, assistant principal at Henderson Middle School, and then transitioned into this new role of working with youth in youth development. And so for those of you who don't understand what youth development is or what out of school time is, we know that going to school is, by law, you have to go, right? You have to go. If you don't go, somebody's gonna come knocking on the door, and they're gonna say, why are you not here? And there are even legal issues that can arise when you're not going. The great thing about youth development out of school time programming is that it's a choice. And that's why I applaud you all for being here, is because you're choosing to do this. Some of you might say, some of my young people might say, well, I didn't choose, my mom made me, my dad made me. That's okay, they chose. Guess what? That means you chose. Okay? And I heard a lot, especially Mr. Grinch, when you said something about exposure and experiences. I'm a firm believer in the phrase, you don't know what you don't know. For many of you, the things you love are probably on one hand, you can listen. You know, I like social media, I like sports, I like movies, what have you. But what I challenge you to do as you embark on this experience for the next 20 weeks is think about those things that you don't know. What do you question? What are those things that you've seen and you may have been interested, but you were just maybe a little too afraid to do it or to experience it because maybe your friends weren't interested? Take advantage of those things, and that's what Next Up is all about. It's really about experiences, high quality experiences. If you're interested in robots, think about coding. If you love to play the game, guess what? Somebody wrote the code for you to play Fortnite. Y'all still play Fortnite? Oh, I see I'm late. See what I mean? But somebody wrote a code. Can you imagine? For every move, every time you hit a button and they move that way to left, right, up, down, there was an engineer, there was a software developer who wrote it. And they make 6 figures. Those are the kind of opportunities that we want you all to be thinking about. Not just playing the game, but building the game. Writing the code for the game. Being innovators, being entrepreneurs. If there's a talent that you love and you love airbrushing, make it a business. Sell it to your friends. Think about those things that are just above and beyond. Think outside of the box. You are not limited to what anybody may have said, insinuated, implied. You're not limited. You think about your dreams and what you want to do. And the people who are here, including myself, who are here to support you. I want to say I applaud the parents. Again, as a career educator, I know the hard work, the patience. Because guess what? I dealt with your kids when they came to school. So I understand what you deal with when you're at home. But I encourage you to just stay with it. It pays off in the end. It really, really does. And as long as you reach out and you're willing, and that's the thing, all you have to be is willing. Just being willing to accept the help. Kids, being willing to accept when someone is caring about you and wants to know how you're doing. But guess what? It's all about positive relationships. This is not just a mentoring program. I keep hearing mentoring. I know that's a part of it, but that is more than that. It's about teaching you how to hopefully come back and be one of these guys. You know that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Just so you know. Your service won't end. It's supposed to be reciprocal, that it keeps coming back and back. And that you then would employ on someone what was given to you. Okay? I love you all. I thank you all so much. I appreciate Broken Man Foundation for being an awesome partner. You all are, listen, I talk to Ellery all the time about capacity. And I'm like, you gotta keep this thing rolling. What can we do to support you? Because it really is an awesome organization. I'm just so pleased that we're gonna be able to give you funding. We're continue along with that mission. And thank you all so much.
Thank you. At this time, can I get all the mentors to stand up, please? All the mentors, all the mentors, all the mentors, all the mentors, please stand. Come here. Just stand. All the mentors, all the mentors. Sir, you back there. Y'all back there.
Go do my brother.
All the mentors, all the mentors.
What is this?
While they're coming in, I'm just going to. Yeah, that's it. All right. All the young men in this program, while we're waiting for the rest of the men to come in here, every young man that's in here will sign the program rules. All right. Number 1 would be no sagging pants. If you have pants that require a belt must be worn. No hoodies or hats inside the building. No Crocs or slides. No profanity. No talking while others are speaking. Be respectful at all times. No fighting. No joking or laughing at others. No bullying. No excuses. Make the right decisions. And we got the word boy. Bet on yourself. Put your hand down for a minute. And also DTD. Dare to dream. Each young man will be accountable. You will sign these rules. And we will follow by them. Okay? All the mentors in yet? Okay. These gentlemen have committed themselves for the next 20 weeks. A lot of times, when you hear the Broken Man Foundation or Broken Man Foundation Youth Academy, you might hear maybe one name or a couple of names might be associated. It's not one. It's about all. I want everybody to understand it takes a village. Understand it? It takes a village. Because when the next man is not here, the next man has to do what? Step up. Okay? And we're looking for the same thing. So these guys that take their time out to make sure that we sow into your child, I just want to make sure that they acknowledge and they stand firm with everything we do when it comes to your child. Every mentor that's up here Let's have a background check. Okay? So we want to make sure that you know who your child is dealing with. Okay? We have screened each and every one when it comes to your child, because we want to make sure that you are safe. And we also want to say this. It's an old cliche, and I'm going to say this forever to the time I rest. We don't want to save one. That's an old cliche. If you save one, they say you've done your job. That's what they tell us. If you save one, you've done your job. We don't want to save one, we want to save many. Because we're raising fathers, husbands, uncles, and leaders in the community. That's who you are. Okay? And that's what we stand for. And these men, we stand here before you because we love you. And guess what? Y'all give us energy. Trust and believe that. We learn a lot from you all the same way you all will learn from us. So we're not going to take that lightly. Okay? Thank y'all, gentlemen. Appreciate you. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge, we have Pastor Antonio Scale, Pastor Algernon Zena. Pastor Algernon is he? He was back? Okay. All right. Pastor Algernon Wheels. We are in partnership with the Huddle, Transformation RVA. We're in partnership with Mental Health Services right there in the back, empowering you for positive change. Help Me to Help You, the REAL program. Now, the REAL program is set up to any kid that's under the age that is not qualifies for us. Well, we're in partnership, so what happens is at 11 to 17, the ages of, what you do, 5, Pastor? Yeah, he doing all one. K through 12. So if you have a child from Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 7, you can visit them, because what we do, we're in partnership. So if they're not quite ready for us, then we put them there, and by the time they get to us, we're going to be ready. Okay? So that's what we want to create. So any services that are in here, because we're limited on time now, we'll bring a few folks up, but I got to catch up. If they're dealing with some underlying issues, okay, we understand what the applications say, but if it's underlying issues and different things that's going on, look, we are family. Okay? When Miss Turner just said, when you come here, we talk about mentors and mentorship, and she said it's something else about that. We not just mentors. Guess what? We family. We family in here. Okay? We're family. So any resources, anything that we can give you, anything that we can offer up under this umbrella, I see you, Brother Goo. We want to make sure. We want to make sure that you get the services and everything you need. And don't be afraid, because everything stays with us. Okay? If it's something going on that your child is dealing with, come to us. Okay? Let's try to make it right. If we can't get it right, we got some partners that's going to try to get this thing right. Okay? Got it, buddy? All right, we have the all the young men that be in the program, raise your hand, please.
I have a question.
Which question?
If we was already in the program foundation, like last year, would we still have to sign the papers?
Every year you got to sign. Every year. Then we come around with the curriculum. I'm sorry. Also, I was going to bring up this gentleman right here, but I'm going to speed it up. We have Mr. Ricky Brown. He's been added to the program to elevate the program.
My hand is on. They can't see it. They can't raise your hand. Put your hand up high.
Good evening. As Mr. Ellery is doing, and I have a lot of important information that I need to share with you, and I want to share with you. And I wrote it down because it's too important to leave any of it out. So I'm going to take a moment and share with you what I have written down, because it's very important stuff that I want to share with you. As our president said, I'm new to the program, but we bring in additional opportunities and service for our mentees. I'm a retired educator with Chesterfield County Public Schools with 30 plus years of service in middle and high school mathematics. As the academic coordinator for the foundation, my duties and responsibilities are providing our next generation of youth with enhanced learning experience, primarily in the area of mathematics and middle and high school, as well as in other areas of content as I can through online resources. Again, my specialty is in mathematics. However, I will help in two or certain other areas. The foundation will be offering a pilot program 1 day a week on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. sign up service. This will begin February 7th for our homeschool and virtual learners only. Other learners will be considered on a case-by-case situation. On Thursdays, prior to our mentoring session, the service will be offered from 4:45 to 5:45 with a 15-minute break prior to going into the mentoring service. That will be 6 to 8 p.m. Again, 4:45 to 5:40 p.m. tutoring service, then 15-minute break, and then it goes to 6 to 8 p.m. tutoring service. We want to have some flexibility with these hours to be accommodating to our participants. We solicit your feedback in knowing that these hours are accommodating. Just by a show of hand right now, how many would be interested in those services that are being offered on Tuesdays? Again, it's a pilot program, we're just trying it out. As far as virtual, yes, meaning we're gonna give it a shot. It may work, it may not work, due to lack of participation.
Can you clarify what you're offering? Is it
Tutoring,
math?
yes, and as well as other areas where I can, through the use of online services. But again, my primary specialty is mathematics. However, we are trying to bring other content areas on board. We're not there yet. We have We have a sign-up sheet over here for those of you who are interested, as well as a consent form for parents to sign. This allows me to communicate with your son's teacher. I can be that advocate in coordinating as it relates to academics, what the kid is missing, what he needs, what are the trouble areas. Remove you from having to get that information then relate to me. The consent form will allow me to speak with your son's teacher directly. And we have those consent forms. So if you're interested, we have a sign-up sheet and we have a consent form for you to sign. Again, this is a pilot program. We're excited about it. We'd like to get it up and running. As academic coordinator, I look forward to working with you and our participants. If you have any questions for me, I can be reached at rbrown, BrokenManFoundation.org. That's rbrown at BrokenManFoundation.org. Thank you.
Now I'm gonna pick it back off from real fast, but I didn't see many hands go up. Okay? Now we are offering a service. We are offering a service. If a child is at home, in home, or homeschooling, or case-by-case situations, we are offering a service. So if you need it, we are here. Because if not, like you said, it's a pilot program, we're gonna scrap it and move somewhere else and take our resources and do something else with it. Take advantage of this. There's no charge. There's no fee. You just come. It's an hour before mentoring. We give you a little break, and then you go right into the mentoring program. Dare to dream. Academics. All right? Thank you. All right, right here. We will just do a quick overview. Starting February the 2nd, guys. When you get here, you're getting to know each other. Okay? Number two, making the right decisions. Number three, we're going to have group sessions. Number four, it's going to be gun safety. We actually have a gentleman that's going to be coming in for gun safety, and that's going to give each and every one of our young men will receive a certificate for gun safety. Okay? Preventative, so you know how, in the event that you have to be around a weapon, or if you decide you think you want to pick up a weapon, which you shouldn't, we want to make sure you understand the safety and the depth that can come with it. Okay? So forth and so on. Follow this guideline. Everyone that's in, every parent today, I need you to take your cell phones out. Take your cell phones out. If you're on Facebook, please follow us at Broken Men Foundation Youth Academy on Facebook, because each and every week we will post these. Okay? Make sure you understand our staffing hours that we'll be having. From like 10 to 3, Monday through Thursday, give or take. Okay? If you have a question or anything, please email us. Give us at least 24 to 48 hours to get back with you unless it is an emergency. That's something else that's going on. And then if you need that, we'll try to get back with you much sooner than that. But respect the staffing hours and everything like that. So there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people you have to attend to, and a lot of times folks say, I haven't heard anything back, but we're trying to make sure that everybody gets the attention that they need. All right? Please follow this curriculum. This is your guide to everything that'll be going on each week. When we're off-site, it explains to you that we're off-site. And it gives you the location. Parents, you won't have to buy in. You won't have to help us. Okay? Unless it's snowing, unless you heard anything from us or watch the Facebook page, unless we said that we're canceling or anything like that due to weather or anything like that, we're moving forward. Okay? One monkey don't stop no show, and the rain don't stop us either. We gotta go. Okay? We gotta go. All right? So make sure it's very, very important to follow this curriculum as we move forward.
And be flexible. Because we might change. If somebody step in and say, hey, I want them to come to Virginia Union football game or basketball game or something like that, we might take a week and say, hey, let's go have fun. We'll put this in another week. So be a little flexible with us, because we have a lot of people from the community that really want to sow into your community.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to deny them.
We're not going to deny them. Some things will happen on Saturdays as the weather begins to change. College tours and everything. All right, so be ready for what we're about to do. What you got?
One point of clarification, when I gave that window of 10 to 2, I don't want anyone to have the impression that a student must sign up for the whole hour. It's just that the service is available during that window, and they can come for 1 hour, 2 hours, or the whole 4 hours.
Okay, and we will feed you. So you don't have to worry about lunch or anything like that. We want to provide lunch and everything, okay? All right, at this particular time, we are going to, we're going to be able to cut the room. Oh no, before I do that, parents, do you have any questions? Parents, do you have any questions, son? Do you have any questions? Come on.